Hare Krishna. So, when the soul receives the human body, so it is like a junction, because there are many ways open to choose based on the activities of a human being. So he can decide his destiny for the future. So now the present activities is responsible for forming the future body. Like if a soul in the human body performs the lowly activities which are matching the consciousness of an animal or any lower species, so after death the soul will transmigrate into the lower forms. But if his activities are in the same line of actions like a human being, again you will get a human body. And if his activities and consciousness as elevated to godly, so he will get a body of Devata in Swarga. So like this, so depending on the actions and our consciousness, we get different types of bodies. But once the soul degrades to a lower forms, then the movement or the evolution is only unidirectional. Like once the soul has, for example, it has come down to a lower species, it has accepted a plant body, then gradually after it leaves the plant body, it will go to the still more higher conscious being. Like that it evolves and finally reaches again to the human body. So this is actual real evolution. The evolution is of the soul, that is, soul gradually changes the body after death and gradually comes again to the human form. But the what evolution we have heard from the Darwin is the evolution of body. Body itself changes. So this is not the right way, and this is not a general acceptance yet, because Darwin's theory also stated that humans came from apes, but carbon dating of the fossils, so they found the fossils of both humans and apes were existing simultaneously even millions of years ago. So this shows that all the living creatures were existing simultaneously from many millions of years. So that's why we can now understand how the soul is transmigrating in different bodies. In all the other bodies except human body, there is no law of karma, because animals and other creatures like plants or reptiles or fishes, so all these living beings, they just act upon the instinct. The consciousness is not as developed as human beings, but human being has a developed conscious, so he has the responsibility of his actions. So that's why his actions have the reactions. That is what is called as karma. So his karma will lead for the better destination or for the degraded destination. So regarding this, Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita chapter 13 that due to association of modes of material nature, so there are three modes of nature: the Sattva Guna, Rajoguna and Tamoguna. So details about this modes of nature we will learn in the future video. But Krishna mentions that due to the association of these three modes, the living entity performs various kinds of activities, and resultant of those activities he will receive different kinds of bodies. Some are very good bodies, some are like not good, they are lower degraded bodies. So he mentions that Purusha Prakritisto hi bhungte prakritijan gunan karanam gunasangosya sadasadyoni janmasho. So he's telling here Purusha Prakritisto hi. Purusha means he is referring here living entity as Purusha, because the living entity is in the mentality of the enjoyer. So that's why it's mentioned as Purusha. So Purusha, Prakritistahi means who is staying in the Prakriti, in the material nature. Purusha Prakritistohi Bhungte Prakritijan Gunan. Because of the association of the modes of nature, material modes of nature, Prakritijan Gunan. Karanam Gunasangosya Sadasad Yoni Janmashu. So, due to the association of material modes of nature, he performs various activities. Then he has to accept different species of lives. Sad Asad Yoni Janmashu. Sad means very good, Asad means a degraded form, like the lower forms of animals. Sad Asad Yoni means the womb, Janmashu, he has to take birth. So that's why the future body, the next body, is dependent on the present actions. That's what Krishna mentions here. For example, if somebody likes to sleep a lot and in 24 hours he is maybe sleeping more than 12 hours every day, so the material nature has made all living forms based on the desires of the living entities. So accordingly the material nature has formed the bodies. So the polar bear is most suited for this action, that is sleeping a lot. So it sleeps a lot. So that's why there is a maximum possibility of getting a polar bear's body in the next life. So like this, somebody is into eating meat, so that is actually consciousness of a carnivore animal like a tiger, because tiger sustains on eating meat. So the material nature aborts in this kind of body in the next future, because his consciousness is almost matching to that animal's consciousness. So then why to have this costly body, that is human body? Human body is meant for much more higher purpose, not for this thing. So the present activities of the living entity is like a blueprint for the future body in the next life. So Krishna mentions that changing of the body is just like a changing of the cloth. Like the cloth, once it becomes very old and torn out, we immediately discard it and we accept new clothes. So likewise we accept a new body as soon as this body becomes old and dysfunctional. So he mentions Vasamsi jirnani yata vihaya navani grihnati naro parani tata sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. So he's telling here Vasamsi jirnani. Vasamsi means the clothes. Jirnani means once it has already become old and torn out. Vasamsi jirnani yata vihaya, when we reject it, when we discard it. Vasamsi jirnani yata vihaya navani grihnati nara parani. Then we will take the new one. Navani grihnati, we accept the new one. Tata sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. So then similarly the soul accepts the new body. Now, on what basis we get a new body? On the basis of our consciousness. And consciousness is formed by two things. One is our activities and another is our desires. So that's why the new body for us is designed based on two things: what we desire and what we deserve. So what we deserve comes from our karma. Like if we want to purchase a clothes, we go to a cloth shop and we have some like desires and some likings towards some certain kind of clothes, but we should also deserve. It means we should be able to pay the price of the cloth, so then only we can purchase. Even though we may desire to have a certain type of cloth, But if you don't deserve, or if you don't have the right price to pay, then we cannot get the cloth. Similarly, the next body is like a dress. If you want such kind of body, they have to desire, and also we have to deserve for it. And by our karma, by our activities, we become deserved to receive the body. So Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita in chapter 8 that whatever state of mind one has at the time of death, accordingly he will get the body in his next life. It tells yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajat ante kalevaram tam tam evaiti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavita. It's saying yam yam vapi smaran bhavam. Yam yam means whatever. Va api smaran bhavam. Bhavam means your consciousness. Smaran means your remembrance, your state of mind. Whatever state of mind and consciousness you have at the time of death, smaran bhavam tyajati ante kalevaram. Kalevaram means this body. Tyajati means when you are leaving this body. When one is leaving this body, whatever state of mind and consciousness he has, tam tam eva eti kaunteya sada tadbhava bhavita. Accordingly, he will get the new body in the next life. Like that Krishna mentioned. And immediately, before that, he mentions in the 8th chapter that if you think about me at the time of death, it tells, if you think about Krishna at the time of death, then immediately we will get liberated from this world. We will get liberated from this whole samsara. Samsara means the cycle of birth and death. Like whatever we saw, the soul is transmigrating from so many different species, and it is moving like this. This is called samsara. This is called the jiva is doing the Brahman. Brahman means it is just moving in different species, transmigrating in different species. So this is completely stopped, and immediately it will attain its eternity back, and it will reach back to Krishna. That's what Krishna mentions. If you remember me at the time of death, antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram ya prayati samadbhavam yati natyas atra samshayaha. It means antakale, means at the end of this life. Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram. If you just remember about me, Krishna is telling, antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram. Muktva means this, kalevaram is this body. Muktva means getting liberated. You will be liberated from this body. Muktva kalevaram. So about this there is no doubt. Yati na atra samshayaha. Samshaya means the doubt. Na atra means here, in this point there is no doubt. Krishna says, you will come back to me. We will go back to this eternal abode, Vaikuntha. So the transmigration of the soul from one body to another body depends on majorly two things, that is the karma and also the desires it is cultivating. So this is how the soul is transmigrating from different bodies. And in human body it is like a junction. It gets an opportunity to decide its desires and karma. Hare Krishna. Thank you.